For our team, it's about more than just a win. It's fighting until the last second. It's about what we stand for. It's about who we play for. We run faster for the steal and drive harder for the goal. There is a reason we're called the Sharks. We're relentless. We're fearless. Our thirst to compete is quenchless. We've heard them say underdogs, but no one can stop a shark on its hunt, and we're hungry.
Snapdragon, site of our second semifinal game tonight. In the championship game on Saturday, Glenn Meredith been with this team since 2011. Consecutive fourth-place finishes in the last two World Championships. Hoping to go one better this time around and get to that championship game. Haven't been able to get over that hump. Dino has, though. Defending champs, won a gold medal with Team USA in Netanya back in 2018. Saw Charlie Toomey there and Seth Tierney, his assistants. Confident bunch, and why not? When you think about what they've done as a team, 71-4 in World Championship plays and looking for their 11th title. Trevor Baptiste will face off against the 20-year-old Jackson Stock for Australia in this game. Keep an eye on 55 in yellow, and Baptiste, as he has done all tournament long, wins the opening face-off. Team USA exploded for 19 goals in their quarterfinal win against Israel last night. Australia, meanwhile, doubled up England 10-5 to get here. Pennell, goal line extended, spins up front. Takes the shot, misses it wide. In goal queue, it's Sean Aaron for the Australia. You talked about him in the open. He's kind of split time with Ryan Spark a bit in this tournament, but he's taken over the reins as the #1 guy. Sowers with the shot. Aaron was there for that stop, and Australia tracks down the ground ball. Good opening defensive possession for the Aussies.
Big underdogs in this game, 11 goals in Vegas, but Aaron and the defense off to a great start. You never know, with this format, keep it close, get a little lead, you can milk the clock, bury your shots, you hang around, and all the pressure will shift to the USA.
The biggest issue would be if Australia falls behind, because Trevor Baptiste and T.D. Erlin are winning 80% of the faceoffs, top in the tournament. Baptiste and Erlin have been almost automatic. Now Australia goes to their second face-off guy, too, with Timmy Graham out. 20-year-old Jackson Stock, trial by fire tonight. That is for sure against probably the two best face-off men in the world. Here's Braden Panting, #5. On a torrid tear in the playoffs the last two games. 4 goals, 7 points for Australia. But keeping the ball in his cross. Now back up top. It's Matt Wood. Tries to go down the alley, but gets shoved aside. Two-man game with Isaac Cahill. Veteran of the 2018 World Championships in Netanya. Lachlan Walker. Back to Cahill.
U.S. defense has given up less than 4 goals a game in this tournament. It's been unbelievable.
It has been hard to come by. Cal Gibson gets shoved to the ground.
The short sticks, like Danny Logan playing D right now, they're so physical. Logan, Tarafenko, Richards, like guys that you feel them when they're bodying up defensively.
Panting shoots. Will stay with Australia. Good hustle by Cahill to keep possession.
He hit the near side post. Jack Kelly getting the start for Team USA. So many of these guys used to playing in the PLL where that shot clock's at 32 or 52, and you can just defend against the clock. Yes. Here, these possessions go forever, and they test your patience.
Panting shoots, tough angle. Australia gets on the board. Mitchell Baker on the rebound from Panting's shot, had almost no angle, but he was able to beat Kelly.
Rebounds are big in this game, and I'll tell you why. Beating the U.S. defense when they're settled is nearly impossible. Quint mentioned 4 goals a game. When you get it off a rebound, you get a defense that's in flux, right? And they're not settled. That is the time to attack. A nice low rip.
Mitchell Baker plays at Rutgers. He's a Melbourne native. Had a couple nice assists against England. Known for his shot.
Baptiste wins yet another draw. 55 in yellow stock is, as the name might suggest, a stocky guy, big physical athlete. That's what Coach Meredith loved about him, and that's why he's giving him a shot today against guys like Erlin and Baptiste.
Well, Tim Graham, Clark, one of our favorites, who was a teenager back in Netanya, ended up going to Cornell based on his performance in the World Games. Not able to go tonight. And he's been really good in this tournament as a knee-down motorcycle grip face-off man.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Australia's at 57%, large part to Graham.
A shoulder injury, couldn't play against the Netherlands 2 games ago, came back in their quarterfinal win against England. Just wasn't able to go today, and Meredith deciding to not make the injury or risk getting it any worse. Rambo trying to physical muscle his way in. Bertrand gets underneath the defender and scores.
Watch the subtle movement of his stick when he feels defensive pressure here, Quint. This is high-level awareness.
It's all about your reaction. Rambo draws 2, pump fake and go, sensing the overhead. Over the head check is coming. The Merrimack D2 star who took an extra year at the University of Virginia gets on the board. Bertrand 6th of this tournament.
Yeah, Brennan O'Neill's really good at that too. Like when he feels pressure, the stick is out, kind of showing as a shooter.
Yeah, how much do you bait that, and how much is that reactionary?
And then right in front, like you just feel it. It's almost like sometimes these guys have eyes in the back of their head because they're not able to see where that defensive stick is. It's just a feel thing.
So as a defender, am I better off faking it and coming with the hammer check in front, maybe?
The old windshield wiper?
Yeah.
Good trail check to get possession back for Australia.
This is an issue for Australia. I think the U.S. will ride Australia really hard. They're one of the worst clearing teams in the field. 57% clearing. I mean, you want to be over 80% when you clear the ball.
That number is so low, it's hard to believe.
Especially without a clearing clock. They have all day to get it across if they choose to take that kind of time. Now they're going to call a timeout.
It is what it says in his Clark, and I'm not going to argue with it, but I've seen some other stats during this tournament that were a little like...
hard to believe.
Rustalin has not been statting all these games. We're lucky.
All tied up at 1 apiece here early in San Diego. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady's Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. All even at 1 apiece here in San Diego. 8:24 remaining in the first quarter. Australia got on the board first. Mitchell Baker taking this rebound. Tough angle.
Who can it be now? Well, Mitchell Baker.
Waiting for that one. You see Australia. They played in every single World Championships.
Men at work. I get it.
Yeah, correct. Thank you for clearing that up for us.
This team came in second in 1994. That was like the shocking win they had in the semifinals. They've been hovering around the bronze position quite a bit.
Gordon Purdy, right, back in the day? He was a workhorse midfielder.
this team historically has been in incredible condition.
Yes, ran all day.
Like the tournament goes on, and they get better and better,
Right.
Connor.
Yeah,
they never get tired, and they will fight you, as Jen Adams said in the open, like a shark.
Yeah, that's exactly what Glenn Meredith said. He says they seem to be getting better as the games progress. And they're going to need to be good for the entire duration here tonight, because the U.S. can score in bunches and can put distance between them and their opponents in a matter of minutes. Baker, the goal scorer, trying to dodge. Not having a whole lot of success. Now back behind the cage. Lachlan Walker. He's going to get a step on his defender. Shoots high off the crossbar. Tracked down by Baker, stays with the Aussies.
We had the U.S. last night. Israel had 3 shots at halftime.
Yeah, they scored 2 goals
went in,
on
right?
those 3.
Two of them went in. But I like the movement here and the assertiveness. They're attacking a lot more than we saw last night. No one wants to go on this U.S. defense. This defense smothers you.
Matt Houston, kid from Lancaster, PA. Father was a rugby player, or I guess an Australian rules football player in Australia.
Nice player for Loyola College. Talking to Charlie Toomey, who's on this USA staff. He says he's going to run first or second midfield next year. Houston 11 in yellow.
Baker looks like he's got a little slickness to him. 12 in yellow. Over to Cal Gibson. Tried to squeeze it inside, just too much. Yeah,
He did squeeze it. I don't think his teammate realized he was getting the ball there.
here comes USA in transition. Pennell looking for a trailer, instead he backs it out. Long couple of possessions for Australia over here. It feels like the ball was on the right side for quite some time. Now Team USA back on offense.
Pennell understands that, and that's why he was not eager to push. Talk about a guy who's logged a lot of miles for Team USA last night. You guys covered the historic moment. Pretty good for a guy who's going to go to Quinnipiac.
Yeah, all-time leading scorer in Team USA history in international play. Broke that record last night in their win over Israel.
The power of betting on yourself.
O'Neal for the goal, too high. There you go. Broke Mark Millen's record last night.
How about Rabel as a midfielder? Those are remarkable numbers. I mean, he's just surrounded by a slew of attackmen. Rabel
playing in 2010, 14, and 18. Mikey Powell did his just in 2 appearances.
Mark Millen, too, only did it in 2.
94
Mark
and 98.
Millen in 1994 was the MVP of the World Championships, was virtually unguardable.
After that pass, I don't believe you that Australia is 57% on clears after that pass. That was beautiful.
You saw the stats.
This
I'm not
goalie
making
throws
these numbers up.
darts. Last guy with reference to Pennell, Ryan Boyle. Ryan Boyle's top 10, playing in 3 times in the world team. But our friend RB.
But this top 10, the only one who's a midfielder only is Paul Rabel, right?
Well, Vinny Sombrado was
he's at like 11, isn't he? 1, 2, count him up.
John Tucker is a midfielder, 52 points.
If I can get Clark and Q out of the archives, we'll go get back to this game.
It's history, man.
It's a beauty of international rules.
Save that for the second half. Got a 1-1 game here.
Danny Logan's pretty darn good, 19 and white. Let me tell you that. If you're a young midfielder and you want to know how to play defense, watch him. He's the guy.
Well, you know what I love about Danny Logan, too, is when he was at the University of Denver, he played offensive midfield for 2 years, defensive midfield for 2 years, all over the field. Last year in the PLL for the Atlas 2022, he's the short stick defensive midfielder of the year. And he was part of that tandem, or the threesome of defensive midfielders, the shorties who were so physical, with Tarafenko and Richards. You watch these guys, man. They're confrontational against offensive midfielders. They dictate the tempo in terms of guys dodging with them.
Bertrand has Team USA's lone goal on the night. Gets it to Pinnell, now to Rambo. Collision, goal line extended. Look at that physical play. Back to Pinnell. He's going to try and sneak under. Now gets back outside. Shoots. Low shot. Misses the target. Stays with Team USA.
Rambo being covered by Ashby Dennis. Perth native, number 3.
Australia shows they don't go.
Dennis is the power guy, the body.
And he's a righty, too, so Rambo, the lefty, is going into a strong hand of Dennis.
Kelly. Looked like Sean Aaron may have gotten a piece of that one. Now Rambo's got a shorty on him. Back up to Kelly. Bertrand tried to set a pick. Kelly spun to the other side. Here's Kieran McCardle. First time we've mentioned his name today. He's left hand free, but not enough to fire a shot.
Chris Moffat's a good defender for Australia. 10 in the yellow. 29-year-old Melbourne.
Aussie fans here in attendance, always notable in their yellow and green, always loud as well, belying their numbers, letting their defense know how much they appreciate it against the defending world champs.
Remember when we were in Netanya, remember the small grass field with the bleachers that weren't that big,
right?
And when the Aussies would come in and they would just take over.
They always bring their flags. They're always dressed in the color.
Pinnell finds the back of the net, gets it by Sean Aaron. USA regains the lead.
I'd hit the archives, but I don't want to be slugged by Cotter. Left to right split, and just speed. Pick helps him out a bit.
Yeah, Rambo does a nice job of setting that pick. You don't want to be on Cotter's bad side because of all the weights that he crushes, and Rob Pinnell lives in a weight room as well.
That's
and
why
it pays off because he can take a beating. He's physical and around goal line extended. For the last 10 years, or if you want to go back to his college years, the last 15 years, Rob Pinnell can write a book on dodging from behind through goal line extended because of all the options. Could use a pick. He's got the question mark. He's got the power hand, one shot.
This is his 3rd World Championship, and as you and I were talking last night, Clark, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he plays in a 4th, the type of physical condition he's in. Sowers, the quickness. McCardle will get a look. It was high in the air. Will Australia be able to get a look here in the final 10 seconds? Got to go to the goal. Walker's going to try and make something happen. Instead, a beautiful defensive play to knock it away. Jack Rowlett did a nice job. Now he's going to fire toward the goal. And he won't find his target, but he prevented any type of an option for Australia.
There's Pinnell walking off the field. The legend, the most prolific scorer to ever wear the red, white, and blue. He's got the stars and stripe up by 1.
Our Sunday night baseball matchup. Series finale between the Giants, who finish up a 6-game East Coast trip, and the Mets at Citi Field. 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific with baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown.
Pitchers in baseball can throw up to 100. They throw 90. Very similar to the shooting speed of a lacrosse player.
Yeah.
The distance is what you have to understand. From home plate to the pitching mound is 60 feet 6 inches. That's the distance between the goal and the top of the box. Okay. What makes lacrosse so challenging for goalies is the pitcher comes in halfway to 10 yards and throws the ball 95 miles an hour at home plate. And so the time is cut in half.
It is on you in no time.
So if you understand speed and you have respect for baseball hitters, lacrosse should have your eye as well.
We showed you the world rankings there momentarily with Team USA first, Australia 4th. Makes sense. The number 2 team in that ranking, Canada, advanced to the championship game on Saturday.
I think the goaltending position in lacrosse is the hardest position in sports. It's crazy. The lack of padding, the reaction time. the mental toughness that you need. I mean, I could go on and on. It's just,
it takes
to me,
it's a special individual.
Oh.
Team USA up 2-1 here as we start this second quarter. Rambo. O'Neal. Shot, nifty shot with the left. Good stop, though.
I think O'Neal right there could just hammer it right-handed. He's got a really good offhand.
Oh,
Australia had a great chance.
USA's offense at times, like when this event started, I didn't love what I was seeing from the Stars and Stripes. They're averaging about 9 goals per game. The last 2 games, they've perked up, 18 goals per game, but against lesser competition. I think the jury's still out, Kark, because quite honestly, their first midfield has 2 attackmen on it. Sowers and O'Neal, flanked by Tommy Schreiber, who's apparently in the lineup tonight, but I'm not sure we've seen him. Or he's out there right now.
Right in the middle, yep. 26 in white.
So now they're changing some of these lines now.
The thought is with the international rules and the slower play that you could just put your best offensive players, but in different spots. But at the end of the day, when you're an attackman your whole life, like Michael Sowers or Brendan O'Neal, you just understand spacing with where you've lived for so long. To just say, go play midfield right now, it's not the easiest of tasks.
Kark, we saw at the end of the game last night against Israel, we saw Sowers a little bit quarterbacking from X, didn't we? They had a couple of sets in there where they put him at attack.
And I said it last night as well. I love the attack for the U.S., but there's no reason you can't run Sowers more at attack and have a 4-man rotation.
And they're vulnerable in transition, as you see right here. You got a guy like Brendan O'Neal who's caught on defense. You got a Michael Sowers caught on defense. The Canadians will take advantage of that.
Well, Brendan O'Neal is physically gifted enough to match up with someone, but if you play Canada and you put him in a 2-man pick game that he's never been in really in his life, I mean, that is.
And I think that's why we heard Dane Smith tell us from Canada that we want to run a little more now.
Think about that.
After
if you
that
put
game.
Dane Smith and Josh Byrne in a 2-man game, if you caught O'Neal and Sowers.
I know. Who do you like there?
Out comes Lachlan, can't hold on to it.
The Aussies are playing with great energy, great spirit. The defense right now is what stands out to me, Kark. They're digging in and forcing some bad shots.
Well, how about these numbers right here? When you think about the USA, Kark, in that game last night, they had a long dry spell. They started the game 2 for 16 shooting after going up early 2-0 in that game. Tonight, they're 2 for 12 shooting.
But they solved the puzzle, also known as Drew Morris, last night. And when they did, the floodgates were opened. Because look at the talent here. I mean, it's just a matter of time. If you give Connor Kelly off of ball movement step downs.
Oh, step down city last night. Feet set. Righty rips.
Over to Conrad. Ricardo. Slipped to open space. Beats Aaron.
I don't know if Australia went to a zone, but either way, you had 2 guys go to the ball carrier and all sorts of time for the shooter.
Yeah, that carry by Conrad right here, he doesn't have the defender completely beat, but the premature slide adjacent is the issue. When you're the next man in rotation, if you slide adjacent and not from the crease there, you're giving Kieran McArdle that lefty 5-and-5 area type shot automatic.
Erlin wins it easily to himself. U.S. perfect on faceoffs once again.
TD went 14 of 14 last time U.S. played Australia. Just took a stranglehold of that game.
And that was with Tim Graham, the Australian #1 guy who they don't have today.
If the U.S. advances, we'll be playing against Canada and Jake Withers, who's the ultimate counter guy. But you have the ability to ride a hot hand with Baptiste or Erlin. If one of them isn't playing at the stratosphere that we're accustomed to, you have that other option. The 2 best face-off guys at winning the clamp are on the same team.
And they've been rotating them in, Baptiste and Erlin, every 3 face-offs to keep them as fresh as possible as the game progresses. O'Neal bouncer. That beats Aaron for the goal.
See, when you're in a 6-on-6 set and Brennan O'Neal is playing midfield, but when he dodges from like the 10 or 2 o'clock area, this is where he goes from all the time at Duke. And it's just his speed, it's his strength, and the shot release. I mean, no goalie can track this.
High wing, when you say that, you're talking about the hands on a clock. That would be about a 10 o'clock position. 12 o'clock is straightaway center. 6 o'clock would be behind the goal. And the key, he's dodging to the pay dirt, Cotter. He's getting to the middle of the field, and you put a lot of pressure on the goaltender because that goal gets awful big when you get to the dirt.
When O'Neal continues to move his feet and he sweeps across or he goes down the alley, that's when he's most dangerous. When he's playing midfield from straight up top, that's where it's a little foreign from him. When he's at the center of the offensive set and he has to kind of meander through the defense, that's where he's not accustomed to playing.
Face-off violation on the draw. Possession to USA once again. This is kind of the way some of these games go early on, isn't it, for Team USA? If you're not perfect playing against them and taking advantage of all your opportunities, they're going to get looks like that.
Starting to look like last night.
And all of a sudden, it's 5-1. Q.
Starting to look like last night. Ryan Conrad can't miss over the last 2 days. His 10th goal of this event. Beautiful throwback here, but again, Australia is trying to double team and slide and play team defense, and they're a beat late. And all of a sudden, the USA is getting feet set, eyes up, clear hands, turn and rake.
Conrad senses some space. Connor Kelly goes with the hot hand. The midfield clicking for the Stars and Stripes.
5 straight for Team USA after giving up an early Aussie goal. They lead 5-1 here midway through the second quarter. Q, you mentioned it going to break. Q, both you guys did how this midfield really playing well tonight, getting a lot of scoring, and they did last night as well with Connor Kelly having a huge game and Charlie Bertrand as well. Tom Schreiber back in action. We've seen him, number 26 in white, after missing a good part of the tournament. And here, when you think about the attack and the balanced attack, everybody eats here for Team USA.
The interesting thing to me is in these games recently when the USA is winning 80 to 90% of the face-offs, they just put a stranglehold on the opponent and eventually wear them down. But if you have a 2 of 12 shooting streak against Team Canada on Saturday, you might fall behind by 2 or 3 goals. The Canadians came into today shooting 44% for this tournament. That's off the charts good. You go back to the Maryland Terp team of 2021, what were they, around 40? 39%? Typically, anything past 35 is outstanding.
And if you watch that Canada-Haudenosaunee game in the first semifinal, coming back from even a 5-goal deficit is very difficult in this format because there's no shot clock. You can go 4 corners. Hold the ball 3-4 minute possessions. Crowd didn't like it all that much here at Snapdragon, but it was effective. So Australia's got to take advantage of their opportunities. Hit the far post. That's 3 times tonight Australia has hit the pipe. So that has hurt him. Kelly was beaten on that shot.
It'll be interesting to see who Team USA starts against the Canadians on Saturday. In my eyes, it's not a decision. It's Blaze Reardon. Kelly's at 42% right now. I would be shocked if he got the start.
Here's Baker. GLE now back behind the cage to Cahill. JT Giles Harris doing up Mitchell Baker.
Watch Giles Harris's feet. No wasted movement. No overcompensation.
Good look inside. Australia gets the goal. They do just that. Take advantage of the opportunity.
Matt Wood hits the back of the net, Q. And I'm asking myself right here, why is the U.S. sliding? Got the matchup here. Liam Burns isn't beat, and they're showing it. It looks like a backdoor on Zach Goodrich and some miscommunication.
Goodrich and JT Giles Harris, yeah.
Because you see them talking to each other. Who had this guy?
Wood, a Swiss Army knife type player, can play attack, can play midfield, gets inside, lives in Perth, where he's a chemistry lab technician. He's got a job too, Connor.
Yeah, man, I bet he was glad to get out of that lab in the wintertime in Perth. Come up here to San Diego. Wood's third goal of the tournament. Ball squirts out of there. Tracked down by Danny Logan. Australia hanging in. 5-2 here. Under 5 minutes to play in this first half.
O'Neal and Sowers both have shorties.
Pennell got inside his defender. Aaron makes the save, though, and now Australia trying to come out of there with Ricardo battling for the ground ball. Picked up by Rambo. Head up. Ricardo shoots wide.
It's good offense, though. Off a ground ball.
Look who's in the middle of it.
Yep, Rambo with a fantastic pass, and then the one more.
From Schreiber.
Yep.
I mean, he makes a huge difference when he's healthy and playing. Pennell got to step on the defender. That hit the pipe. Ricardo doesn't miss. High heat sting in the corner. 6-2. Stars and Stripes.
This is an unforgiving game where things happen really, really fast.
Rob Pennell goes to the rack, and then off the pipe, Kieran McArdle. You want to talk about a player who has stuck with the process. Played for St. John's in the early 2010s. Played in the MLL and then the PLL. Last year, he had a phenomenal year in the PLL. It's kind of an outside chance of making this team, but his body of work over the last couple years, later in his career, he's been tremendous. Last year, he had over 20 goals and 20 assists in the PLL. The Water Dogs win the championship in large part because of Kieran McArdle.
Big battle for that loose ball in the face-off. Good look, Earhart bounce shot. Aaron makes the save.
Kick save. And Clark, that's, to me, the best thing about the PLL is guys improve a lot after college. And so pro lacrosse gives them an opportunity to play between the ages of 21 and 32. And guys get better and better and
they
better.
Get smarter, their lacrosse IQ increases.
And that pushes the game forward. That pushes us all forward.
And you want to talk about jobs. You're selling all the Aussie jobs. Kieran McArdle is a school teacher, a phys ed teacher in New York City.
Yeah.
He's a coach. He's involved in the game.
He's a dad.
Stop.
Yeah. 8-month-old Emerson, his daughter.
Think about the impact he has on young lives in New York City as a PE teacher.
If you've gotten a chance to talk to Kieran McArdle, he's a world-class human.
Double team now. Beautiful look to Connor Kelly. Trying to get the one extra one. Nice job defensively by Team Australia. Ashby Dennis got his stick in the passing lane to knock it down. Running clock here in the first half of these games, and for much of the second half, so the games move at a pretty good pace. Team Australia only scored 20 goals in their 4 pool play games, but exploded in these last two. 28 goals in the last 2 games alone. So the offense is starting to come together a little bit. Glenn Meredith wants to talk things over as the clock ticks to 42 seconds remaining in this first half. His team down 4 goals. He's a good-looking Coach Meredith, always smiling, enjoying himself. His team's enjoying their trip to San Diego. Rady's Children's Hospital, presenting sponsor, the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, is the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the top 10 best children's hospitals in the entire nation.
30 teams have been here in San Diego for about a week and a half playing in this World Championship. Great stories from Jamaica, Japan, Israel. Canada earlier today advanced to the championship game, and it looks like USA is taking care of business.
See Dino and his assistants. Seth Tierney on the left. Was in line with 3 Japanese players. They did an out burger today. And did
you pick up the tab?
No, I
didn't.
I tried. There was a language barrier. See, there was a language barrier there.
All you have to say is you point to yourself, and then you make the $sign and smile.
Oh, like you've done that often.
Yeah, dude, you know me, man.
No,
I'm Italian. I pay.
You're right.
I
as long as people are eating well, you're happy.
Yes, exactly. I would have taken care of all of them.
The Italian team, I watched their game against Jamaica, Kark, man. We got to get you going to Italy to play for that team. Look at these places that they're from. Torino, Bologna, Imola, Rome, Rossana, Milan.
Look, my grandmother's family's from Naples. My grandfather from Ischia.
Lake Como.
Right. He's ready.
No, that's
Lake
high
Como.
rent.
Right,
No,
that's way too high rent.
Yeah.
Kark is all ready to go. He's already got his Italian horn necklace. Ready for the trip.
Brian Vona, their coach, and the game is growing.
Final minute of play here. What does Australia have cooking coming out of the timeout?
This will be big.
Here's Houston trying to get back to the middle of the field against a short stick D-Mitty. He's got a shot, but bounced it way too high.
He can run. Matt Houston,
that was a good move.
Loyola, he's a right-handed downhill alley dodger.
I like the speed and the separation. And
yeah.
he never broke stride off of that shot that he just punished the earth with.
11 points last year for Loyola. Had some broke his arm, shortened his season. He'll be in grad school.
Oh, nice hit. There's the physical D-middies, right? Richard, Tarafanko, Logan, Goodrich. They bring the heat.
Desperation that time from Logan as the horn sounds to end the first half. Australia making a game of it, though. A couple of cold stretches by Team USA in shooting, keeping Australia in it. We're going to talk to the World Lacrosse CEO when we come back. Halftime here in San Diego, 6-2, Team USA on top. You're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital as we get set to start the second half. Beautiful image of the Stars and Stripes with Snapdragon Stadium in the background here in San Diego. 6-2 our score, Team USA on top. T.D. Erlin getting the start at the face-off dot for Team USA, going up against the 20-year-old Jackson Stock. We're going to get a loose ball push. Going to go against Australia. It'll be USA's ball. Anything you guys would like to see from Team USA in terms of offensively in the second half, or is it just a matter of burying shots?
No, I think for me, I'd like to see a little bit more dodging with some picks, but I also understand you don't want to show a ton. in terms of your patterns for Canada.
You get the feeling they're kind of vanilla tonight?
Yeah, I think they're a little vanilla, but I would tend to agree with why they would be, you know?
Right.
Got this monster matchup looming.
Yeah, it's amazing. The U.S., they've won all these faceoffs.
Save, man. Look at that save, though. Yeah. Blaze Reardon in the cage. Probably the best goalie in the world.
I would agree. You know, the U.S., for all the faceoffs they've won, they're not scoring off the faceoff. And there's no transition from this team, really. Michael Earhart, I think, has 1 or 2 goals.
He's got 2, right?
2. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet. So they're heavily relying on the 6-on-6. And anytime you do that, watch this. This hits the post, and I think he catches it off the post. Watch it. This post.
I think he might have got a stick. That was a
he
save.
got it right before.
The stick hit the post, I think.
Or the ball hit the post through his stick.
Right, pinged it.
But what I was saying is I think you're going to see some wrinkles here. One being Michael Sowers with the ball. I wouldn't be surprised Saturday if you see him dodging from X a little bit more.
Schreiber.
We'll have a short stick midfielder. We'll drift him behind to his true comfort zone.
You go single invert.
Yeah.
Australia subbing in a defender. That was kind of got him on their back foot a little bit, got him on their heels.
Schreiber. Sorry. Schreiber's back in the lineup, Connor.
Yeah.
But missing some time. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like.
He had a great pass on one of the goals over here. Great feed.
I would give him heavy reps this half.
To get the rust off.
Yes.
Here he is with the ball.
I believe the last game he played in this tournament was their game against Australia in their pool play game.
Yeah, he got rocked that night pretty good, twice.
So here's Rambo. Collar, no flag, shoots it high.
See how he eats that wrap check?
Yeah.
I mean, the power. A lot like Austin Stotts, right, for the Haudenosaunee. Rambo, a one-handed wrap check is like, please, get off me.
Schreiber, great catch, shot. Handled by Sean Aaron.
Nice save by the big lefty. Grew up in Virginia, went to Union College, played for Paul Wareham there, graduated in 2012. Senior year, he's 65%, and they made the quarterfinals of the NCAA. That's a D3 school. Took a trip to Australia, liked it so much, he then moved there, and he's lived in Australia for 10 years. Married. He's got a son, Seamus, and a daughter, Patty.
And he has
And his wife, he's got a wife.
And a job?
Mia, and he's got a job in sales.
There you go.
Talent management. He's got a real life, and he's got a heck of a mustache.
Well, we've seen a number of those in this tournament.
So you played for his college coach, or I'm sorry,
Paul Wareham.
You were a student in his.
When I wrestled in 6th grade, Paul Wareham was my wrestling coach.
Wow.
We're going back into the archives
Paul
again.
Wareham was as intense as it gets. When 2 guys in gym class would have a disagreement, he'd lock them in a closet together.
Okay. That's a way to solve a
problem. He was a great lacrosse coach.
2-man or 1-man league.
He was our middle school lacrosse coach back then. For Tony Seaman was the head coach.
Yep. My older brother Steve
ended up going to Herkimer.
Yeah, played for him at Herkimer.
And then Union. Multinational championships at Herkimer.
It's like doing a game with 2 Bill Waltons. Meanwhile, 6-2 in our contest here, Team USA and Australia. Connor Kelly had a huge night last night against Israel in the quarterfinals.
Well, here's the quiz, Cotter. Tony Seaman. Okay.
Yep.
What kind of contact? When I bring up the name Tony Seaman, what does that mean tonight in reference to Team USA?
Dino, I believe he gave Dino
his we have a winner.
Job, right?
That's correct. Tony Seaman was the head coach at CW Post when he hired John Danowski to be an assistant for $3,000 and live in the dorms with his wife.
Good segue, because Tony Seaman, an outstanding coach at Post, right? And then Penn.
Yeah.
And then Johns Hopkins.
Yeah. And then
even a better salesman, too. He could get that deal done, right? Convince him to coach for
$3,000. But Dino, who at the time was looking at a science job at Manhasset High School, was thrilled with it. Look how he's turned out.
Man up. Good opportunity to see what Team USA brings to the table. Schreiber had a wide open look. Instead, he gives it to 24. Now skip pass to Connor Kelly, and it goes wanting.
You think about last thing on the story card. Like at that time, who'd they play? Oh, they played Levittown Memorial with a head coach by the name of young guy, Bill Tierney.
Yep.
Like the pocket of high school coaches at that time on Long Island, just insane.
Bill Tierney then went from Levittown to RIT, where he coached, I think, multiple sports.
Yeah, to Johns
That's right,
Hopkins
at one
as
time.
an assistant.
Like soccer
and
and
the head
lacrosse.
soccer coach. Then to Princeton in '88.
Crazy. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different world nowadays than it was back then. Late 70s, early 80s. Graham thought about spinning in the middle of the field.
The
met with
Aussies-
Jack Rowlett.
Aussie's ball, off-ball body movement. You see them how they move. It's been really good tonight, and it's causing some U.S. issues. It's not easy to cover these guys when they move around so well without the ball.
And they're conditioned. Got Blaze out of the cage here.
JT Giles Harris recovers on Baker.
I'm telling you, though, I think we talk about the defense for the U.S. In the close defense, guys like Jack Rowlett, JT Giles Harris, Jesse Bernhardt. The shorties and the depth that they have, though, I think are a huge factor in their success. Terefenko, Logan, Goodrich, Richards. This is a unit.
Graham shoots. Got a lot on that shot, steered aside.
They picked 4 of them, Clark. They picked 4 defensive short stick midfielders. That's never been done before.
Yep, I'd be anxious to see which 2 get the most reps, too, against Canada on Saturday. It'll be the ones with probably a little bit more box background, too.
If they beat Australia tonight.
Yes, if they beat Australia. And Terefenko is one of them. He plays box, plays indoor.
This ball initially picked up by Australia in the middle of the field. Now a big battle
scrap.
for it.
Great scrap.
Oh, good hit. Oh, another good one. That might have been high. Yeah, it is. We got flags flying all over the place.
Oh, this is awesome. We love this. This is awesome. Woo!
That's 5-on-1 right there.
We'll clean it up when we come back. Our next WNBA game is on ABC Saturday afternoon. It's a rematch of last year's finals. The Aces host the Sun at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. Coverage tips with WNBA Countdown at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. out here on the West Coast. Australia going to be man up here. You got a feeling this is a huge opportunity for them. They got to score here because goals are hard to come by against this defense.
It is. The bad news, Australia's extra man unit has really struggled in this tournament at 19%.
They got 2 men up, though, here. This is the time they've got to find the back of the net. Braden Panting has 2 of their 6 man-up goals in this tournament, number 5 in yellow. You see him on the near side, up top. You can see what both these 2 teams have done. Now it's 1 man up for Australia. Team USA gets a player released. Probing on the outside. There's the shot from Panting. Shoots it wide, stays with Team Australia.
Felt like that extra man, just too much passing on that one side, right between the 3 players.
And now we're at even strength. So 30 seconds, 2 men up, 30 seconds, 1 man up, 0 goals to show for Team Australia.
Panting, 5 in yellow, has had a really good week and a half. He's from Perth. He plays for the Wembley Lacrosse Club, the Wolves.
Yeah, speaking with Glenn Meredith, his head coach about him said he lost a lot of weight, about 30 pounds, and got much leaner and much faster. And that's the theme with this Australia team. And Meredith said, if you get in shape like number 5, you're going to play well. Get in shape. Long offensive possession for the Sharks continue. Beautiful trail check. Is that Jacob Richard that knocked that ball away? Here comes Team USA. Here's an opportunity for transition. They opt not to take it.
Yeah, Earhart, as a trailer, thought about it for a second. He realized the numbers weren't in his favor. If this were in the pro league, they probably reverse it there and maybe give him an outside 2-bomb.
Yeah, I mean, he led the league in 2-point attempts a season ago for the PLL Whip Snakes.
I'm sure there's also a little bit of belief that even though it's only 4 goals, that's a pretty big advantage in this game. Sowers, look at the quickness. That's in the front of the goal and scores.
Shot out of a cannon.
He's a meerkat. I mean, he's so quick. Whoop, he's by you. The double team can't react, and he flies across the top of the crease.
You know what I love about that move? When he flies across the crease, he understands, and that's why I was saying dodging from behind, dodging from the low wing. This is his home. He's an attackman. When he's dodging from that spot, he almost knows within his strides when he needs to leave and go to flight and shoot through the air prior to going into the crease. Like, it's part of his muscle memory almost.
Yeah. So quick you couldn't even see whether he was in the crease or not from this angle, and guarded by the defenders. 7-2 the advantage. The rare face-off win for Team Australia. Can they go quickly? Shot too high. Cahill let it rip.
This team has really played hard. And props to Coach Glenn Meredith, his Michael Sowers. You saw him through the air there. That's just perfect timing.
Levitates.
In body, mind, in unison. But this team, I think, has done a fantastic job in terms of their effort and their grit. You mentioned their off-ball movement offensively. This is a team that is certainly focused, well coached. And I give so much credit to teams like Australia and a lot of these other teams in the nation. The sacrifices that these players make to come to the World Championship.
Well, even before that, to qualify for the team, Australia's a big place. Like, you got some in Perth, you got some in Melbourne, you got some in Adelaide. Like, it's a big deal.
It's time, it's money, right? It's sacrifice, it's time away from your family, it's resources and the money that you're spending to get there.
Lacrosse is played in Australia at the club level, okay? It's usually introduced to teenagers, 16, 17, and 8-year-olds, who then go off to university and continue playing, and then they play after college in these clubs. Most of it is on the western part of Australia. I've been to Sydney. There's not much lacrosse in Sydney on the east.
The sheer love of the game and the sacrifices they make.
There's an identity and a pride with this program. They've always had it. I mentioned that 1994 team that got a silver. 4th place in Israel. 4th place in Denver.
Baker did a nice job to keep possession. Then he loses it. Zach Goodrich did an even better job getting it away from him. Now here comes Goodrich.
Look at the hustle there to stop transition.
Yeah, Thomas Graham did a fantastic job to get back.
When Goodrich picks up that ball initially, I'm thinking, oh, they have numbers here. They're going to hit in transition. They're going to score on a fast break potentially. The effort and the hustle to get back.
Aussies are a hardened bunch of people just across the country. It is a tough country. The ocean, the outback.
You should work for their Chamber of Commerce.
They've got 16 species of poisonous animals that will kill you within a minute.
The amount of research.
You're going off the rails, right, man.
That flight from Baltimore here to San Diego, a lot of time to kill.
Sunburned Country by Bill Bryson. Great book.
Cook, look at the attention.
It's a New York
he's drawing.
Times bestseller. It's not obscure.
I don't know much about the poisonous snakes. Kelly bounces it home.
We had him like last night, right? Late last night. And what impressed me so much about Connor Kelly was the variety of shots, the release points, high, low, starting high, shooting low. Look at this old school bouncer.
Saw that in warm-ups with him, and I was shocked. coming into last night's game, he was shooting 2 for 21. He had 4 of 9 last night. So the 2 days off, something happened. And I was wondering, remember last night when he scored and he looked at his stick? Remember he looked at his stick? I wonder if he redid something on his stick.
I don't know. I thought he was stanking his stick almost.
Maybe that, like it was something happened in his time off where he fixed his shooting stroke. Remember last when we saw him for the Water Dogs, he had like 9 points in that game.
But over the last 2 nights, the 4 goals last night and now tonight, not 2 shots look the same, right? No 2 shots look the same.
Baptiste, who's been working in concert with Erlin, trying to keep both of them fresh for potentially Saturday's championship game.
Last thing on Kelly's shooting, rarely sidearm or underhand. I mean, he's 3/4 arm or over the top, which I love, and I think is got tremendous power. As a former goalie, guys like that scare me.
Yeah, that's a good point. One shot as Conrad.
Oh, that's tough break. No, it went in. That thing was going to go wide of the cage, and it hit off an Australian defender. You're going to have to take a look at this replay.
This is a ricochet. It looked like it was going wide towards the pylon.
This one's going
corner.
wide. And number 3, Ashby Dennis, I think it hit off of his cross and ricocheted in. If we could get the look from our angle, I'm not sure we'll get it, but you see Dennis like, man, it's tough enough as it is. Now the brakes are going against us. With 7 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter.
Ryan Conrad's perked things up. Virginia grad. Tremendous high school athlete at Loyola in Baltimore. Was the #1 rated recruit coming out of high school.
Oh, yeah. He was part of the transition from Dom Starja to Lars Tiffany. Part of Lars Tiffany's first national title run in 2019.
Everything's going right for Team USA right now. Even when they're grinding, they're getting the breaks. Watch where this one bounces off. The right knee of Ashby Dennis. Pain and suffering. 9-2 Team USA. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation.
There's the spot, right?
Casa Guadalajara.
Yeah, Kettering's taking us out there tomorrow night. Gonna run that bill up.
Chips and salsa?
Yeah, that's just for starters.
Homemade guac. Oh.
Place looks tremendous.
Or 2.
Our producer, Tim Sullivan, hyping Casa Guadalajara up. Better be good.
You see what Team USA has done offensively over the last couple of games. Exploding on the offensive end, including 19 last night, 9 so far today as we enter the 4th quarter. Earhart just unloads.
Earhart shoots well over 100 miles an hour.
Veteran now of a couple of world championships, was part of that gold medal winning team in Netanya 2018. It's 9-2. You've got the gold medal game just on the horizon. 2 days away, Saturday afternoon against Canada. So I would expect Team USA to slow down. Just as I say that, 24 lets one rip. Good save, though, by Aaron.
Sowers is an automatic double team on the wing every time he goes in this game.
He created that offense.
And I completely agree with you, Paul. He's much better suited as a Dodger at X when the defense has got to turn their back, or a wing Dodger.
There is nobody playing the sport of lacrosse that can match his feet.
Because when he feeds from up top, remember, the player that's catching it's got his back to the ball.
Yes.
Rocky Russell gave him a "how's your father?" right on the crease.
These guys are serious. They could care less that they're down 9-2.
Lucas Parsons Quintiao, 96. A good conversation with him as he tried to explain how to pronounce his name about 12 times before the game started. I think I got it.
Yeah, you did a nice job.
Thanks. This Australian team, the only team I've ever gone down on the field before the game, and the players came up to me to introduce themselves to me and ask me how things were going.
That's fantastic.
No hidden ball here. No hidden ball. 9 in orange, yellow, whatever it is.
First time this year you've ever lost.
Well, you accused me of missing a hidden ball in a PLL game.
You did. You flat out missed it. Flat out missed it. And that's not typical of you. You have hawk eyes. Too many books you're reading with those small print. Your eyes have gone.
Culture code.
Just track the ball, Kesnick. That's all we ask.
Wood was left high.
Watch this defense here. Logan, 19 and white.
Graham with the skip pass, but way too high for Panting. Catches a little bit of Michael Earhart's stick for good measure.
Based on what you've seen and your vibe of this team, do you think we'll see Sowers behind a little bit more?
I would hope so. Seth Tierney, who's a college teammate of mine, is not giving up any information. He doesn't trust me, so he's not telling me much. But I said to him, I said, I hope you have some more dodging angles from Michael.
I believe his response to that was, we'll see.
Going to be a fascinating championship game. You mentioned the face-offs. I thought Dylan Ward was pretty hot today in goal for Canada.
He looked good.
It's been hard for the U.S. guys to get hot because they've seen so few amount of shots.
In a big game, though, that's just such a battle. Dylan Ward and Blaze Reardon, those are two guys I just think big game goals.
Yes. Could be another classic. Always seems to be when Canada and Team USA meet, when everything is on the line, and everything will be on the line Saturday afternoon here in Snapdragon. Sean Aaron's been outstanding in goal for Australia, makes another save. They just have not been able to dent this Team USA defense.
I think it's fair to say, too, they clear better than 57%.
Right. I think that's got to be.
Rustalin says it was a typo and it should be 67%.
Much better, but still not nearly
67 seems low, too.
Right. They've seemed pretty efficient against the best team in the world.
Mentioned this, Matt Houston, Lancaster, PA. His dad was a rugby player. Cotter, you said that. Charlie Toomey likes him next year. Had some injury issues. He can run, and he's a good righty downhill player.
He kind of looks like a two-way midi, too. I could see him playing both ends in the college game with the shot clock and the speed from end to end. I like his acceleration.
Loyola also has Cam Wires here, graduate, plays defense for Team Canada.
Foose gets it back to his right hand, but misses.
Cam's now healthy, Paul, and he's been playing well in this tournament.
He's a big body.
Houston shoots. Blaze sees it all the way. Here comes Team USA the other way. Burns ahead of Terefenko.
We had a nice conversation with Blaze's family last night.
Yeah, we did. We saw them all.
We saw them all after the game. Wonderful people. Upstate New York, Rochester. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters. They had everyone.
I mean, clad in more stars and stripes than you can get your hands on. Rob Pannell more than capable of just running some time off this clock. Sowers, look at that move.
This offense is at its best when they initiate from behind the goal with players like Rob Pennell and Michael Sowers.
Yeah, Sowers at X there. The timing to follow Pennell up the hashes, right? Like Pennell is dodging. And look at the awareness of Pennell.
How did he see him?
That's what I'm going to ask.
Turn his head.
No. How does he even know? And this isn't like someone he's been playing attack with the whole tournament.
You're saying
Sowers has been playing midfield.
His peripheral vision is that
Nuts.
good, or he hears him and trusts the voice to throw it to what he hears?
And I've said it earlier too, like they have the 3 starters at attack. I think if you rotate 4, you have Sowers there. You could have a 2-pronged quarterback system with Sowers and Pennell. Looked pretty good there, didn't it?
Sowers is the matchup issue on, on this USA roster.
Rambo and McCardle will occupy that lefty wing area because they have very different styles, but they occupy the same space.
Well, who does Graham Hossack cover? Pennell or Rambo?
Pennell. Pennell gave Hossack trouble last year in the PLL.
Who does Brody Merrill cover? Not easy matchups. Like, they're not automatic matchups for us to kind of
and if you put Hossack on Pennell, Rambo physically, he can have a day on someone. If the right physical matchup isn't there for Rambo.
Or Cam Wires. On defense.
Rambo, quick ball movement. Kelly. Inside, beautiful ball movement, but there's Aaron.
It was great ball movement.
Beautiful offense, and Aaron just stones him.
If things continue the way they are, and the bronze is between the Haudenosaunee and Australia, based on all the play, 7 games in a row, and how fit these guys look right now, I think Australia could give the Haudenosaunee a pretty good game.
Well, that's what I thought when I covered that game in pool play. Australia was coming off a day off, and the Haudenosaunee they were playing their 3rd game. The issue is Austin Stotts. There's no great matchup. Ashby Dennis has got to cover Stotts. They don't have somebody to cover Lyle, and I think with the Haudenosaunee getting a day off tomorrow, that game's on. I think that really helps them. Today they had their 7th game in 7 days.
Yes.
Yeah, that game that you called Q in pool play was a close game into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, no, this will be a close game again. Neither team has a dramatic advantage at faceoffs or goaltending. I like some of the Haudenosaunee matchups when they have the ball.
I mean, their skill is off the charts. I also wonder with the Haudenosaunee, this was a year where they could have potentially battled for 2.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. Finished off by Rambo, but just about everybody in a white shirt touched it on the way down the field. We haven't seen much in transition from Team USA, but when we see it, it's a work of art.
The beautiful game on display.
Rambo finished off the fast break. Team USA under 5 minutes from finishing off Australia. U.S. on top 11-2 here, under 5 to play in the 4th quarter. Kark, this fast break started by Jack Rowlett when he picked up the ground ball in his own territory. Thing of beauty.
They had a couple poles running the action. Rowlett scoops up the rock. He finds fellow close defender Jesse Bernhardt. Over to Pennell, who's worth his weight in gold for this offense with his IQ, his awareness, and his pinpoint passing to Matt Rambo, who I think gets his first point of the night.
He does. And what stands out to me there is if you're a defender and you're forward on the rush, if you're the Rowlett and you scoop it, clearly you have the green light. But Bernhardt choosing to go over the midfield line. Why? Because he found himself there in the forward part of the formation. Just keep running the field like a midi, and it's the other guy's responsibility to stay on sides.
Erlin comes out of there with it. Terefenko. Team USA with the big lead here, slowing it down, or will they? McCardle, look at that passing. Rambo. Oh, can't finish it off. Sean Aaron. That's his 9th save of the night and his best.
Yeah, Rambo's going to want that one back because all the fakes were where he actually shot it, right?
And it's
fake high, fake high, fake high, shoot high.
It's Ryan Spark in net, not Sean Aaron. Spark came in providing a spark for Team Australia. Look at that.
Look at him deal with the fakes. There was a post on Twitter the other day of Rambo's like 17 fakes and a layup. That time he went to 17 and Spark stayed with him with the windshield wiping.
That was beautiful. So during that timeout, Spark came in and already seeing an amazing shot and making a great save.
They call them the stepbrothers, Spark and Aaron. Facially almost like twins with their mustaches.
Been on this team Australia for a long time too, both of them.
Still the second best face-off, or I'm sorry, mustache in the tournament. First one goes to
Max Silberlich for the head coach for Australia.
The coach?
It's
Israel.
Not close.
Yeah, the Israel
not
head
even
coach.
Close.
Silberlich's mustache is ridiculous. I think his brother Jacob was growing the beautiful locks, the long hair, and Max said, I can't do that, but no one's going to be able to match this stash. Houston, little bull dodge there, now backs out. Stuff the bull dodge 4 and white. Walker, bouncer.
You mentioned Team Israel. I'm really fascinated to watch how this tournament finishes up for that group of teams. The Jamaicas, Israel, England playing Japan.
Yeah, Japan could finish in 5th place.
England, Japan to me is a monster
Plus.
game.
Yeah.
England, Japan, because this could be the year where Japan breaks through, right, to the upper echelon of the nations playing the sport of lacrosse.
There you saw Sean Aaron congratulating his fellow goalie Ryan Spark coming to the bench after that great save.
Those guys are a piece of work. Ryan Spark's 36 years old. He too has 3 kids. Isla, Vivi, Tommy, his wife Chanel is here. And I asked him, I said, guys, what do you like most about San Diego? The 2 goalies standing there. They go, oh, the wife's got the kids. We actually get to sleep.
Wow.
It's winter down in Australia right now, so they were happy to get to the warm air.
Just a reminder, bronze medal game at 4 o'clock, gold medal game at 7 o'clock. Canada waits.
You know, the consolation, or for the bronze, right? We were talking about it before we went to break on that quick goal by Rambo. My thought is, like, I thought the Haudenosaunee this year could battle to get into the top 2, right? Play for gold. So I wonder, with those expectations and in the way that they turned the corner and how strong they played through pool play, you know, losing to the U.S. by 2, losing to Canada by 1, and then the rematch with Canada today. I just wonder psychologically how do they handle that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you think back to Netanya, they won a close game against Australia for the 3rd place. I think it was 18-16 in a high-scoring affair where the Haudenosaunee got the W. So it'll be a hungry Australia on Saturday in the consolation game, looking to go one better than they've done the last 2 World Championships. Double team comes. That's trouble. Got a whistle, though. Timeout.
Great call.
Coach Meredith got the timeout because he knew his player was in trouble.
Coach Meredith, 1990 member of this Australia Shark national team. Program that dates back to 1876.
Wow. 1990, that game, or those games were played in Australia.
Perth.
I remember watching them on tape delay or
Perth, yeah. Leaf, I think Leaf did a show 1990.
Of course he did.
Petro and the Gates
yes.
were big in 90 in Perth.
And I remember Billy Marichek, Tom's older brother. He played attack on that team, and I vividly remember that U.S. team having Dave Petromala and Steve Mitchell together.
Yeah.
That was one heck of a tandem.
An answer to Paul and Gary, or enough of an answer.
Tell you about the next UFC event from the Apex in Las Vegas, our middleweight main event. Prelims begin at Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern, followed by the main card. That's 7 o'clock Eastern. on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus.
Say the name.
Magomedov. Strickland.
Yeah, that
taking
boy.
on Magomedov.
You see what happens with an extra day of
to think about
of prep and reading
thinking
cards?
About that all day.
That boy. Proud of you.
Look at that dude. You think that dude lives in the Outback, Q? We were talking about that earlier. With that mullet, I wouldn't put anything past him.
That
dude can do whatever he wants.
That's a tremendous flow.
He is living the life. Whatever that guy wants to do in life, he's doing. And he doesn't care what you or anybody else thinks about it.
Can't you hear the thunder?
No. It was bad enough when you mentioned it earlier on in the game. The rails we've completely come off the rails officially.
One of my first albums.
Really, that's a shame. My first album was a Deep Purple album. That just shows you how old I am too. That's, you know.
I loved Journey and Steve Perry.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm all about that.
Oh, Sherry.
Send Her My Love.
I mean, there were no better, power ballad writers than Jonathan Cain and Steve Perry. I mean, that duo rewrote the books. Team Australia fighting to the very end. Hoping to maybe put one in the back of the net before this one is over. And they look forward to their consolation match with the Haudenosaunee on Saturday afternoon.
They got a day off. They got a day off in San Diego. Well-deserved day off. They'll probably do some stretching and recoup work in the morning and then enjoy the day.
No hiking like us up in Torrey Pines. No walking around the zoo.
But they've come too far not to get out and
but chill. You got to chill.
Look around.
You might be going to the zoo alone, to be honest with you. The more I think about it,
not going.
I live in a zoo at my house.
That is. That really is true.
Yeah, so I think I need a day.
You need a day just to chill, just like us. Find out what the Aussies are doing and hang out with them. Maybe get a Foster's or two. Just chill out.
Cotter's been to the zoo in Ridgefield, Connecticut,
no
right?
About it.
You like going there because when my kid sees you, he thinks you're the Incredible Hulk. So it's good for your ego.
You're right. As soon as I met Gray, he became my favorite that very first minute. Final seconds ticking off the clock here in San Diego. So once again, the rematch. Two bitter rivals. Team USA, Team Canada. Seemingly every single world championship they battle for the gold medal. Canada won it in 2014. Team USA took it back in Netanya in 2018. They will meet once again on Saturday evening.
They split the last four. But credit to those hard-working Australian lacrosse players who gave us everything in terms of effort. Props to Coach Meredith and the entire Australian team.
Final 11-2. Team USA over Team Australia. We'll wrap things up when we come back here to San Diego. Handshake at the middle of the field, customary after these games at the World Championships. 11-2, Team USA with the win over Australia in the semifinals. Let's go down to Michael Sauer standing by on the field. Michael, congratulations. Tell me your thoughts wearing the red, white, and blue, now being able to play for a gold medal on Saturday.
You know, it's super special to be able to wear these colors, compete in our home soil, and really just play with these guys. I mean, some of these guys I've been watching in the PLL, watching professional at the college level for so long. To be able to play with them, it's incredible. It's awesome.
Michael, it's Kark. I have to ask you, when you dodge from the wing, what's critical for you sinking feet, leaving your feet in the air, and shooting? Because it almost happens like seamlessly for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, that low wing, it kind of just simplifies the reads. You're really just reading the pop. If the pop doesn't come, then your next option is to try and get across the front if they don't slide up from X. And if they do, then you kick it forward, and we got Matt Rambo or Rob Pinnell going out the backside. So I think it just simplifies the reads.
Mike, how would you describe the progress that the Team USA offense has made since arriving here in San Diego?
You know, I think we've come a long way. I mean, you know, I think if you just look at this game versus the first time we played these guys, I mean, that's a great team and a great defense. They're very athletic. You know, and I think that we're just coming away, you know, not many empty possessions. Your goalie made some great saves, but I think, you know, we did what we wanted to do. We got great shots off, and, you know, sometimes you just got to tip your cap, and I think their goalie played great tonight. And, you know, maybe a couple we want to have back, but overall I think we were solid.
Michael, your first World Championship, and I know you have the family out here. What's this experience been like for you off the field?
You know, it's just so cool. I think, you know, being able to spend time with the team, and, you know, you really formulate that bond where you're hanging out with the guys, similar to like a college environment. You're eating together, living together, hanging out together. So it's been awesome. It's been so cool, and obviously big one Saturday. We're fired up.
Michael, appreciate your time. Go celebrate with your teammates. We'll see you Saturday.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Michael Sowers from Drescher, PA, on his way to the gold medal game on Saturday, once again against Team Canada. The Haudenosaunee and the Australians will battle Saturday afternoon in the consolation game. Q, real quick, your final thoughts. You got USA and Canada once again coming up on Saturday.
Going to be one of the games of the year. Honestly, it's going to have a lot of drama. It's going to have playmaking. It's going to be hard hitting, and I can't wait.
I'd be really surprised if it's not a one-goal game, and I have no clue who's going to win.
They always seem to be that way when these two teams get together. Promises to be another one just like that on Saturday. Team USA got everything that the Aussies could give them, but they were able to get an 11-2 win. Now they'll play for the gold medal on Saturday. For Paul Carcaterra, Quinn Kesnick, and our entire crew here in San Diego, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you Saturday.